Meanwhile, on the other side of things, bit of utility, a P250 in play for Heroic, and well, they aren't going B, so the stack does not pay off initially.
They've managed to dodge Cello, at least for now. They're storming their way up long. He should get the backstab opportunity as they start to tuck their way in, but the timing could not possibly be worse. They managed to make their way round. I don't think they expect Cello here, but he's whiffing all his shots. Finally finds the connection onto Tess's, but he needed a little bit more there, I think. As Heroic already a man down. They've dived down connector. They've forced the CT rotation up to A, and now they're going to set up their execute onto B.
They've been giving MIBR the run around in this one, but the man advantage for the Brazilians spoke too soon. It slips away from them. And now an isolated player in the form of SSH. He does manage to find one, a second as well. Pulls off the reload and a third. Cadian has absolutely fluffed that.
Forced by regardless, just the Deagles and the Scouts, however. Good amount of utility behind it. Expect a fairly full-blooded execute as MIBR are going to look, of course, to farm as much cash as possible on these SMGs.
Yeah, Yell, the door already open. I don't think they were quite expecting that on the Heroic side. It's an awkward angle for an SMG, and you don't want to stick around when there's D15 left on the clock. Where do Heroic go from here? They've gained the connector control, fully given over by MIBR. I mean, that's kind of fair when you've got the man advantage. There's no need to be taking risks, playing aggressively. Still really hard to tell whether MIBR are reading into this correctly or not. And a couple of their players, especially Yell, tagged up quite heavily. Cello got to be careful not to drop the M4. Flash comes in, not really feeling confident to go around the corner. Smoke over the top, does get a clean one onto Cadian, but now being rushed down. A second coming in, no one around to trade him, really, as he keeps on fragging. Beautifully done. They're not massively challenging, but all the same, feels good to get your confidence rolling. It's down with a quick kill and a tag on that scout. Lovely to see, but 4 more players to find by himself.
Being flanked from connection.
Turning away from the enemy flashes as well. An off angle from Cello beside the bin. A difficult one here. He needs to find a frag, and even then dropping back might be hard for him. It really depends on the approach. Great flash comes round. Blind spray down attempt is unsuccessful. A great early pickup for Heroic. 1 minute and 20 left on the clock as well to work with.
Always feels like those aggressive fountain peaks have a bit of a timer on them, and it just outstayed their welcome ever so slightly. MIBR just held for a little too long. You could see the setup of how it was meant to function, but Cello going down was huge, and niko now starting to thin the numbers even further. denoco taken out as he tries to get some aggression coming in towards short. And from here, I think MIBR have got a really critical decision to make. Yell fully invested onto that AWP, just $300 remaining, and Astound takes out SHZ. It's going to be very difficult to even justify this take. Bolts only able to get a 1-for-1 on the trade, but 1v4 Heroic, they've got to fall off. MIBR have to try and keep their hands on that AWP, and that's exactly what Yell's going to do.
Yeah, first
here, not going to find that kill either. SHZ, he's tagged down low, but he's doing more and more damage to Stound as he tries to retreat. His own nade's going to tuck him even lower, down to just 5 points of health. And yes, there's time left on the clock, but the firepower advantage, the man advantage that MIBR now have is huge. And Borup, I don't think there's any way he's going to get his hands back on that bomb. You've got Yell watching for his peak. You've got Cello playing around these smokes. He keeps dropping to make absolutely sure that bomb is going nowhere. This looks like round number 5 for MIBR. Okay.
Borup got other things to say, though. That is a nasty one. Gives his position away, though, unfortunately. And Stound, 5 HP. Perhaps not going to be too much help. 30 seconds left. What are the options here? Maybe they look to save, actually, in fairness. AWP recovered for Stound. And obviously full utility for Borup, so it's not like he's losing anything by saving here, really. So I think it makes sense. It does make sense. And MIBR, very early, getting a nice little foothold where Heroic looked solid for those 2 rounds that they won. Really, really good stuff. MIBR have now turned things back in their favor. Not quite upside down. It's not completely wild, but a decent few rifle rounds coming in from the Brazilians. Let's see if it continues.
Yeah, I mean, I said a few rounds ago, right when they felt that boost, that they want to be trying to get those little mistakes out of their game, and they've just gone and done it within, what, 3 rounds? A massive turnaround from them. The save clearly working out for them, and then just going big on the individuals, trusting your players to hit those shots. It's a really nice play from Cello. A little bit fortunate that Cadian wasn't expecting him to be that close, but nonetheless, you still got to take your shots. You still got to hit those frags, and he does so fantastically, forcing Heroic down onto this scrappy force buy, shall we go for. They've managed to get an AWP, of course, saved across, an AK saved across, one more to supplement, and then a couple of Deagles to really finish the job. So not the greatest buy in the world, but I'm sure Heroic will be thinking they can do some serious damage with it regardless. And looking for a relatively slow start to things, as now they're going to start to put some pressure out towards long. Already, Cello just completely backing out of that fight. No interest in it whatsoever. So Heroic, they're going to get the map control, but not rewarded with any frags just yet.
The bomb. And as you can see, the team responds in kind. Rotation starting to come in. Cello got to find this frag. He does indeed. Yell, meanwhile, only good for one. The A-bomb site itself has fallen by the looks of things. Tessus with that trade definitely securing it, but the bomb out in no man's land. Rotations coming through the smoke. It's risky. SHZ not so sure about that move. Into a 2-on-2. Cello, though, still the thorn in the side towards short, and Cadian's trying to find him around the smoke. Oh, misses an easy sitter. And he will pay the price. To be alive right now, he was facing the other way when the AWP shot came in. So I would imagine it's material near him. One of the walls, one of the pillars perhaps, keeping him alive. And he is certainly confident to keep on going for this, but SHZ not ready for it. niko looking good though. Once again, finding the trade quickly back. Does take tags through the wood and on the way out. Nonetheless, a 4-on-4 that is doable here for MIBR. Nice little spot from Bolts, trying to get the tag through, but they need to be careful. Their hold is somewhat weakened. 2 of them in on the site itself, 1 towards heaven, and a quiet Stown trying to move in. Oh, jumps the gun a little bit too early, though, and I think maybe because of that has been spotted inside the smoke. Ah, the flash is not good enough, sir. Bolts will take him down, and now Tessus on the backside. I was going to say maybe in for the flank, but it seems they're just bringing the whole team towards A. Try and give that a go instead in the 4-on-3.
B didn't work. Playbook, already an aggressive player, but Tessus is going to do well. Deals with Cello on the front, and he knows the AWP's position now. That's wallbangable, and he is going to tickle away at him. Make sure that Yell stays honest into the after plant. 3-on-3 this time. Again, limited in their utility, MIBR. They need a pick somewhere to get them back into this one, but this time at least, Heroic not too well established in their afterplants. Tessus trying to play close to the dumpster. Might be able to spot that corner out, and he might just get the information. Yell shouldering it, trying to get around this corner cleanly. Cannot do so. Double spray down is good from Tessus, and Bolts thrown into the 3v1. Absolutely stuck deep inside bank on that impressive start on the CT side. If they don't get it, if it starts to go south, then this half starts to fall apart ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly indeed. Yell with the crack angle to open up, or to be the first to go down. A quick flick onto Borup. His wrist will be aching after it, but a beautiful opener nonetheless. 5-on-4. niko, meanwhile, close and personal. Oh, they don't make any noise. They're not seen either, so he had to react quickly rather than receive the sick flash, and it just doesn't work out. SHZ, though, on the back of the site, staying alive, looking for more heads. A man advantage currently for MIBR, and a solid one now as Yell drops Cadian. The all-important round of this first half, it feels like, and they might just have done enough. Stown smoked out as well. I don't think it's looking too good. He's got time on his side, but other than that, everything else is against him.
44 seconds. As you said, it's enough time to pull something off, but 3v1, it really feels like someone on MIBR has got to make a mistake somewhere. 33 seconds left as the smoke starts to fade. SHZ and Cello both making their way over towards Monster, over towards that bomb. Stown will start to creep his way towards this bridge, but SHZ really reacting as of yet. Only 56, 55 seconds left on the clock. Traditionally expect to see some kind of CT progression for him, but here it is. Cello taking out the Deagle, but traded immediately by one of the rifles. Tess is the one with the frag. And now that A bomb site starts to look just a little bit vulnerable. They've managed to rotate Yell and Bolts up quickly, but it might be the wrong call at the worst possible time. The bomb is toying with the idea of going back down connector, but Bolts looks like he's going to stay and receive this exec if Heroic want to stick with it. They are still toying with it, running it right down the wire here. And Yell's actually rotating back up. They've started to get a little bit of a read on this MIBR, and that could be huge. If Bolts can lock this down, a frag or two from this position would be so key, and he's going to get two. Tess is at least able to trade it back. 2-on-2 after plant. That's wallbangable. Not quite going to connect.
Doable for either side. No utility, no kits, just comes down to landing the shots. SHZ takes a few, he's left low, even lower, all on
of information. Lack of utility and a lack of the bomb especially is going to prove very difficult to deal with.
Playing the contact style, I think it is the best way to approach this one. His reactions need to be on point. So very slow here from Cadian. Final round. I'm sure he'd love to save, to be honest, even on the T side, but no option, so has to push forwards. Has to be successful, I feel, for Heroic. Set them up in a nice little position. The first face, though, onto buff angle. They're expecting it. He finds so much more damage, though. Not a frag, but enough damage to translate into one, and surely this MIBR side have been laid up now for the rest of Heroic to just drop them. It looks that way to me. 30 seconds left. Maybe they can get a catch and move towards the A-bomb site. No, it's a fake flash to draw some attention. 25 seconds left. They're really, really, really neurotic about where to go here, and so scared of all just getting taken down at the same time. 15 seconds, comes all the way down to the wire. It's getting the bomb plant in. Damage certainly being done, but no frags as yet for the T side of things. 10 seconds left. SS knows it, making sure they have to come to him, and that'll be the round. SHC can't find anything on the orb. 1-on-3, definitely not going to happen with 5 seconds left. So, Heroic, there you are. First rifle round of the CT side. They get it on the board. Seconds around there. It will keep them at bay. Nonetheless, executed over the top. The hit will come in with 20 seconds remaining. KD is now the first to chime in. Niko on the flank actually gets taken down by Bolts, but surely enough has been done. That bomb gets dropped in no man's land. They have to move forwards, find kills, get the bomb plant instantly. It's just not going to happen once again. Borup will drop Yell, and there goes the round. Big damage done, in all fairness. 2 players only surviving for Heroic. 55 seconds left. The remaining 2 MIBR players look set for the A-bomb site, I would assume. Still not set in stone just yet. I think they are indeed clearing out. Connector split at the moment, so certainly vulnerable to an isolated fight, but thus far has yet to run into anyone. So certainly working out. 30 seconds remain. Moving in once again. Really running the clock down, hoping to catch some players off guard. No smokes to speak of. Maybe a molly at bank, a flash over the top to help out. But it is certainly going to be a tough little post plant for them. They will get the plant, at the very least. Money into the next round will be helpful indeed. Unless Cadian's got something to say with a wall bang, but no, this is quite like molly towards bank. Like I said, they will look to try and take an aggressive fight. I do like this from Yell, but it needs to be successful. And that's easier said than done. He tried to put the perfect time through that molly, but it was still a little second too long for him, I suppose. He loses the first fight from a Ferrari peak. SS are now all onto SHZ. Pushed up.
So, yeah, there's room to aggress. Actually, the spray down, perfect pop flash. 2-3 picks over towards the A-bomb site. Scout will at least get one in response to connector. But for the first time in a long time, Heroic under a little bit of pressure. And you can see SS desperate to get that advantage back. Yell trades the pick, so it's still in favor of MIBR now. And that CT side looking stretched very thin.
As SHC chimes in onto stand Borup, the only one left. And I think his motion is to move to save. They just about, with him left alive, actually have enough to put together by next round. But into this one, probably not going to happen. Sticking around though. Actually not backing SHD maybe still in the mix. It's had some big moments, some big rounds. One of those would be very nice right now for MIBR. So, in and around the bin, great little shoulder peek from Dalico to get him to move away. Usually a tough angle to deal with. The second one is harsh. Bolter's frag nullified immediately. Now back to square one. SHC though creeping along might just be able to get the drop on a player or two if he plays his cards right. Not really good enough for my money though. Needs to absolutely pop the hell off here and go insane. The first two.
Again, looking for the B-bomb side, being shut down again. And a deep smoke to keep that any kind of fast play.
Going the way of Heroic. Really, really well done from them so far. Over the line, that's another question. niko has got other ideas. The perfect flash coming in for the clean double that might just, at the very least, seal the map point.
It definitely feels like that lack of pressure has disappeared now, doesn't it? Stuck outside of the B-bomb